tensions are high on Israel's northern border with Lebanon, even as Israel wages a full-scale war in Gaza to the south. Israeli Minister Benny Gantz warned today that time is running out for a diplomatic solution to the crisis on the northern border, where the Iran-backed militant group Hezbollah has been firing missiles into Israel. If the shelling on the civilians doesn't stop, he said, Israel will act. Meanwhile, a second American hostage in Gaza has been confirmed dead. Judy Weinstein-Hagee is now believed to have been killed during the October 7th attacks alongside her husband, Gadi. They were both dual Israeli-American citizens. Former Arkansas Governor Mike Huckabee, the host of Huckabee right here on TBN and a frequent visitor of Israel, just got back from a trip there where he met with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and also visited the communities in the south that were devastated by the Hamas attacks. Let me ask you this, though, because you have been to Israel, countless times. Were you prepared for what you witnessed when you were visiting these small kibbutzes that were attacked on October 7th?
Lindsay, I have to be honest and tell you I was not. I thought I knew what had happened. I'd certainly read many news accounts and seen videos. But when you go to places like we did in Kafr Aza, which is just about 400 meters from Gaza, one of the first places the terrorists hit, and you go into the homes in the kibbutz where these people were slaughtered, they weren't just murdered, they were slaughtered. Their bodies were mutilated. The level of atrocity that was inflicted upon these people is that of the most uncivilized behavior that I've ever heard of in my life. Some things I can't even say on television. It would just be inappropriate to describe in detail. But here's what I can describe. When the terrorists came in and they murdered these people, they often would murder children in front of their parents, or parents in front of their children. They would mutilate their bodies. They would seek to humiliate them by stripping them and doing just unspeakable things to them. It wasn't just a slaughter of them. It was an extraordinary level of violence. And then, to make it even worse, if it could be, they celebrated it. Now, you may wonder, well, how do we know they did this? Because they wore cameras on their helmets. They videotaped themselves doing these atrocities because they were proud of them. And there are audio recordings of them calling back to their parents and boasting about killing Jews and how many Jews they had killed and how proud they felt their parents would be for having just those hours before murdering Jews. What kind of people do that? And that's why Israel doesn't have a choice. They can't go into Gaza and just say, you're going to have to calm down and not be so bad. They have to make sure that Hamas has no capacity whatsoever. And by the way, they're still launching rockets. When I was sitting at lunch with Yael Eckstein from International Fellowship of Christians and Jews, we were having lunch in Tel Aviv on Thursday. The alarm went off. We were hurried down to the shelter. And as we were going to the shelter, the Iron Dome was intercepting Hamas rockets right over our heads. We could hear the loud booms. It was a little unnerving. But the Israelis face this many times a day, day after day after day, and the stress levels that they are under, indescribable. And one mother made this comment to me. She said she has 4 children, and her husband is in Gaza fighting. She's trying to keep the 4 children. She's every day having to rush them to shelters. She said, I'm tired. I'm tired all day. I'm tired at night. I wake up tired. I go to bed tired, and I don't sleep. I'm just tired, and I'm wondering, will I ever not be tired? It just broke my heart to see how innocent civilians are suffering because of the terrorism of Hamas, financed by Iran, and that's what we cannot forget. They don't have the resources other than the Iranians and others give it to them, but they don't use it to help their people. They use it to oppress them, and they use it to try to kill every Jew they possibly can. And it's something that every Christian has to stand up and say, this is hideous, it is heinous behavior, and we will stand with Israel, and we will stand with the Jewish people.